Hi guys, Music Beauty Life here to show you Mila Kunis' Academy Awards 2011 look. It's this really gorgeous look with peaches and bronze. She looked absolutely stunning. I am obsessed with her dress, this gorgeous lavender sort of lacy see-through in certain bits dress. Gorgeous, stunning. So I really got inspired and I wanted to do this inspired look for you. Her makeup's actually quite simple, but it's got loads of lashes and just really pretty neutral colors on the rest of her face. So if you're looking to duplicate this look, keep watching. Okay, to get started, I've already primed my eye, and on this half of my face, I just have my base. On this half, I also have my blush and obviously my eye makeup done. So to get this Mila Kunis look, we're going to be using our 88 Metal Mania palette by Coastal Scents. And this color, the look's really just peaches and bronzes. So just in this first row, fifth one down, there's this really pretty peachy shade, and that's the color we're going to be using. You can tell it's all dusty. And I'm just applying it on a regular flat brush. And we are just going to start by tapping it in, and then once we tap it in, we're going to buff it as well. We just really want the peach color to just really shine through, but we want it to be a little bit sheer. When you tap it, you get a much higher color concentration, and by kind of buffing it in, it's going to become more sheer and more melded to the lid. And I find with the 88 Metal Mania palette, you can really get a really pretty finish when you kind of buff a little bit. The next shade we're going to take just on a blending brush, this is going to be a stiff tapered crease brush, or, you know, crease brush really, not a blending brush, I suppose. The next color we're going to take is fourth row from the back, and it's the fifth one down, and it's this really pretty bronzy shade, but it does have some orange tones in it. You don't need too much of it, so we're going to give that a little blow, and just apply this just above the crease. This look is not very high on the brow bone, so I want to stay true to that in my interpretation and kind of try to give you guys the closest you can get. Obviously, you don't need this specific palette to make this look work. You just need to find colors that are sort of similar. So this crease color that I'm using right now, it's like a bronzy with some orangey tones. It's a very warm, medium bronze. Now just on that same brush, in the same palette, we're going for another bronzy tone. This one's going to be darker, so it's 4 rows in and the fifth one down. And this one's a darker bronze, but it still has a lot of warm tones in it. If you don't have 3 bronze shades, you could just use a plain brown shade for this. So this, you only want to get it precisely in the crease, exactly in the crease, so that we can see that pop of the other bronzy color. So we're just blending it in, and we're also taking it into the corner. And you can just add a little bit as you go till you get that perfect shade and color match that you're looking for. And that is pretty much it for the eyeshadow part of this tutorial. It's very simple. I'm actually going to go back in with my brush here and just get a touch more of that peach color, because I feel like it kind of got a little bit too washed out. So there we go. Now we're just going to move right on to the lower lash line, and I'm going to be taking that second peach shade that we took, this one right here, and we're going to tap it into the lash line. So just get very close to the lash line. Get it in between your lashes so you get that golden glow. It's really going to come out. And then next, you're going to take a bent liner brush, or whatever liner brush you like, or even your regular eyeliner, or an angled brush with some black powder on it, whatever you like. And you're going to gently coat it with just the smallest amount of liner. I'm using gel liner here, so I'm putting a small amount of gel liner. And we're just going to draw very close to the lash line, and it doesn't actually have to be a full line. I'm just dotting it in here. Just try to get it a little bit closer so you can see that there's just little dots, right? Just kind of dotting it in there. Add a touch more. And then I'm just going to take a Q-tip actually, and we're going to blend the black together. That is the bottom lash line almost done. Now that you've applied that black liner, you're going to take that first peach shade that you had and just really saturate your brush. And then just go right underneath that black line and kind of blend now all three lines together with that soft peach shade. And you're going to want to keep this handy because you're going to need this shade again. So actually what I'm going to do so that I don't have to get on my palette is saturate the brush and put it to the side so that I can do the rest of the makeup. So next is just lining your top lid, and Mila in this look has like a medium thick line, not a super skinny line when it comes to being right here in the corner of your eye near your tear duct. And then she's kind of got a fanned out line on the edge, but it really isn't that, it doesn't have that much of a wing. So we're going to try to keep true to that. Now we're going to take any black liner you prefer. I'm going to use the fluid line as well. Oops, not on this brush. And I like to use this Alexis Vogel brush when I'm putting it into my waterline. So I'm going to be taking this Lovely MAC fluid line and in Black Track, and I'm going to be just tapping it into my waterline. You can see how I'm doing it. Just nice gentle strokes without getting close to the eye. And if you're having any sort of problem with your eye watering or feeling uncomfortable, you can always just pull it away from your actual eyeball. But for me, this is not uncomfortable. Now my favorite part about this look is, I think you can already see it on both eyes. You see that black line, but then you see that beautiful bronzed out glow kind of in between the two lines, and I really love that three-dimensional effect that I'm getting there. Alright, so next I'm going to apply lashes. I'll be right back with these applied. Once you get your lashes applied, I kind of pulled off a couple of the lashes when I was pulling off the glue on this side, so hopefully that won't show too much. But I'm going to be using Maybelline the Falsies Mascara, and you really want to load up on mascara because this is a very lash heavy look. So by applying the mascara after you've applied your lashes, you're kind of melding your lashes and also the fake lashes together, so it looks less like you're wearing fake lashes. Or rather, you don't notice the thick strip. And now to make sure that we have a really beautifully concealed under eye, we're going to apply a little bit of foundation just like we did with this eye. So onto an angled brush, I'm just taking a tiny amount of my Chanel Vitalumiere and a tiny amount of my Smashbox, what is it called? Artificial Light in Flash. And we're just going to go right under the eye to make sure that everything is beautifully covered and perfectly concealed. And you can see that we've already done that here. So then I'm just taking a nice fluffy kind of stippling brush and gently blending with that so that we get a nice airbrushed sort of finish. And then I also take my finger and just gently pat it. And now is when that peachy color comes into play again. You just want to add that once again right under the eye because we really want that peachy glow to be hit, and obviously using the foundation covers it a little bit. I'm just going to touch up that other eye as well. So that is the whole Mila Kunis eye look from the Academy Awards. And I just wanted to show you one last thing. Her lip color is a little bit tricky. So I found the color that I have that is the closest is Color Riche by L'Oreal in Golden Vanilla. It's a little bit glossier than the color that she has used, but it is a very pretty, milky sort of golden nude. Pretty close to that color. And then for a cheek color, I've selected Classic Aura by Avon. I think that that color comes the closest. So I'm just putting it on the C427, which is a tapered duo fiber brush. And we're just applying it to the apple of the cheek, as you can see here. I haven't actually done any contouring on my face today because I just noticed that she really doesn't have very much contouring. So I want to keep it as accurate as possible, since this is a look inspired by her. This is my version of her makeup look. I hope you guys found this video useful. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope you try out this look because I think it's going to look gorgeous no matter what colors you use, you know, what brands you use. It's just a universal peachy bronzy look. And that's all from me. Thanks, loves. Talk to you soon. Bye.